What's up everyone, it's BKells here, and this past weekend they updated test server with a couple of hot fixes that changed some of the powers that a bunch of people are the majority of right now, so nature and earth, which I'll get to in a second. So yeah, I wanted to update you guys with that. So first off, blessing/corrupt blessing will now properly apply to your character while in healer role. I didn't notice that it didn't. Earth, Jackhammer's first hit of damage has been rebalanced to correctly account for it having knockdown, so it should have reduced damage, but in damage roll, Jackhammer's aftershocks will no longer knock down, which means you'll do additional damage with Jackhammer, or, you know, at least according to their theories of crowd control effects, you should. And then also Jackhammer's range has been reduced to correctly account for its melee damage bonus, which is where the nerf is at. So let's hop over to DC test server right now. And before, for Jackhammer, you had to be in like this 12.5 meter range to hit people with Jackhammer. And now you definitely need to be closer. So you need to be about within 5 meters of your target to hit them with Jackhammer. So this is about the max range that you'll need to be able to hit them with Jackhammer, which definitely makes it harder to just spam Jackhammer the entire time, since you're gonna have to have your adds closer together. See, like if I'm DPSing right here and the tank's right there and I'm hitting Jackhammer, I'm not hitting those two targets in the back left all the time. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be harder for Earth DPSs because you're gonna have to position yourself better. But it's not, the damage hasn't really been nerfed. It's basically the same range as Unstoppable, as you can see here. So if you're using Unstoppable, you're gonna be in that range of the targets anyways. Just make sure you position yourself better. Now the other major change was to nature. So Serpent's Call, Poison Spore damage over time will now be properly consumed by Roar, so Roar doesn't do as much damage. The big one, the Poison Spore damage over time effects spread by Harvest will now properly split. So they weren't splitting before, so now they'll split correctly, and in turn that means you'll do a decent amount less damage with nature. And then the last thing, Wolf Form and Gorilla Form's weapon attacks have been rebalanced to be the same guidelines as player weapons, so not really much change there. So because you don't really use your weapons with those modes anyways unless you're PvPing. So let's switch over to nature real quick, and I'll show you just with my loadout that I have posted what the difference is between the damage now and the damage back then. So back then we were getting like 13k with nature, without everything splitting, so you're definitely going to see a huge drop off. And Harvest, I already have a new loadout that does decent amount of damage as the previous one, but definitely not the same as when these dots weren't splitting. So first off, we're going to go Serpent Call and then hit our 2 dots, Harvest, and then Roar, and then we're just gonna repeat that, and you'll see it's about 10k, and it's actually probably decent amount less. I'd say maybe 20% less damage than you were getting before with this rotation, so it's definitely a nerf to nature if that's what you're wondering. So yeah, you get 10k at 30%, and before we were getting like, I don't know, 12 to 13k just with that rotation. But I have another one that I'll post soon that gets about 12 to 13k, but definitely a nerf to nature. And then last but not least, we have PvP, which is a big one. Reduce the damage cap for shield abilities while in PvP, so definitely nerf shields, making them less useful in PvP and kind of making the powers that have a ton of shields less powerful, which is nice. But and then water, fixed bubbles so that if you use after Riptide and DPS roll, it will still deal damage to your attacks. And then Tempest Guard's mitigation amount has been increased to 85% while the damage cap and duration have been reduced, which haven't been able to test yet, but seems like a decent update. So Thanks for watching. That's all I have for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and soon I'll be coming out with an updated nature video because of this update. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.